went to sleep. But there is a High Court judge in Pretoria specifically that got arrested last night, right?
Mm-hmm.
And her name is Portia Phahlane. This relates to a case regarding succession in the Pentecostal church. Now, the allegation is that she was bribed to a tune of 6 million. They helped her purchase a property that she was trying to buy back in 2022. And then, I guess in exchange, she had a very favorable ruling towards the people that bribed her. I don't want to delve too much into this particular case because obviously we don't know what the details are, and she's just accused. It doesn't mean she's guilty, right? But what I do want us to discuss is how this implicates the judiciary. There has been a lot of people speaking about how the judiciary is captured, how the judiciary is tainted in some way, shape, or form. They are parts of all these cartels that are being investigated, yada, yada, yada. And without us even knowing the veracity of these particular claims, this is the first time that I can remember where a judge has been arrested for a bribe this much.
Yeah.
We've had judges being arrested for drunk driving. I don't remember personally, unless you can remind me, another judge being arrested for something like this. So the question is, now what? Because if you lose faith in the judiciary, you've already lost faith, for example, in the policing service. People speak about police people receiving bribes all the time. The judiciary is supposed to be beyond reproach. And now it seems that it isn't.
To be honest, I really feel like holistically, when it comes to law enforcement in the country, things are not looking good. From police to judges, and this arrest, unfortunately, is further making things worse and making one look at, from the police who arrest you, can I trust them to do the right thing by me when it comes to whatever I would be arrested for? Now, when it comes to the judges, you now look at them and say, so after I've been arrested, is this person going to do what is right for me? Or will somebody be coming behind and trying to get their own way? So it's actually not a good look holistically for the law enforcement.
So depending on who you ask, people say judges have been getting bribes since the beginning of time. This is just the first time we're finding out about it, right?
Openly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I guess this is the nub of the issue, right? If it has been happening, well, we were none the wiser. But now that we know, what shall we do, Mbali?
And I mean, when it comes to us as the public and you begin to take a court case to court, how do you begin to even trust as somebody now who has to, you are seeking justice for whatever matter it is that you are facing. And now you see reports of this nature. I mean, that's a major, major concern. And like you guys are saying, it further taints, our country's judiciary. And it's a trust thing, a trust deficit to the public that is quite clear that when you continue to see stories of this nature, you tend to believe now what you hear, particularly when there's the allegations being leveled, particularly like from the likes of Abunhlanhla Mkhwanazi, saying that when it comes to issues of corruption and money laundering, we are also seeing the judiciary also at the center of these allegations.
Yeah, look, you've got to believe that everything that has been said in the Matlanga Commission thus far is somewhat accurate. Maybe not 100%, but somewhat accurate, right? And then you've got to go further and say, right now, at the ad hoc committee, I think Kat Matlalo was supposed to appear.
Yeah, he's going to appear today.
Then yesterday he said he wasn't going to appear. And I think they forced him now. He's going to appear again.
Yeah.
Right? So we need to hear specifically from him, because this will be the first time that we hear, other than the court process, this will be the first time that we hear from him speaking about whether or not these things that he's been accused of are true, or whether this is some kind of a smear campaign.
Doesn't this show a positive sign to our justice systems that even though you're the person in charge of dispensing the law, you're not above it? I think it sends that message to the ordinary citizen that even those who are supposed to,
So yes, in some ways it is a positive sign. But you know what's more positive? Not having any judges arrested.
Yeah, that's true.
Because now I've got to go and doubt, okay, for example, this is going back to 2022. how many other cases after that, or before, actually,
Absolutely.
were influenced?
Right.
Now they're going to need to review all of this lady's judgments. All of them.
I guess it's the aftermath. We watch and see.
Yeah. It's big, man. And it's December, bro. Like, I was hoping we'd be able to do nice, chill stories now. Oh, there's none of that. Big things still happening this late in the year. Let us know what your thoughts are. So there's a difference between being able to afford, for example, to buy, or not buy, but to afford to hire the best lawyers who can argue your case with merit, right? That's legal. There's nothing illegal about that. But once you start infiltrating dockets, buying police people, tampering with evidence, that's where it gets murky, because that is not allowed. But yeah, you see, for me, buying a judge, I think that's the highest level of corruption when it comes to our judicial process, because that's where everything should stop. If the judges themselves cannot be trusted, that's a big problem. Well, I think you'll be disappointed, eh? I think you'll find that even after he takes a stand and he speaks at the ad hoc commission, or committee rather, there won't be much that he reveals that we don't already know.
Lawyers in nature are corrupt. What the judges have done successfully is making sure that their dirty laundry never gets out. And it's sort of like an unspoken secrecy rule or something, that these things don't come out. But when they do come out, they do come out. For me, Western Cape is the most corrupt because of those racist white folks there. And that's why I think they took out the MKP guy. Second one is that JP Mlambo. And that Rata Mokhatleng, yeah, he must also be investigated, that one.
How? But now what are you basing that on, right? The only thing you can say, for example, about these two judges that you mentioned, Mlambo and Mokhatleng, is that maybe you just don't like them. But they've never, ever, ever been implicated in any wrongdoing or accepting bribes, etc. and so on.
Hayi, amajaji asuka phela nawo. Asuka ngeke ukhulume namadoda lapha boKate Matlala wamabhiliyoni adla imali ngapha nangapha ubhizi wathethisa ekubeni nawo uthola intonyana ngonyaka. Abantu phela nabo basuke bahale. Uyabona namacala wacida ukwacula, basuke badudeke nje badidiswe ukuthi jezisa indoda yemali. Hayi, namathi ngilahlele isandla ke ngibone bese zabashubela bese siyathuka. Hayi, abantu nabo uGiggs ewatshile ephilweni ngibone kakhulu umkhaya tanko.
Sharpo. So, before you can be a practitioner of the law, right, you go through what's called a fit and proper test. So you got to look at the person and ascertain whether or not they are a fit and proper person. And this is based on morals. This is based on their behavior in society. There's just lots of things that you consider. For example, oh man, my law lecturer would be so disappointed in me now. But there is a case, I forget this, it's a very famous case. But this guy went and studied law and graduated. And when he was done serving his articles and was supposed to be accepted into a bar, because he was Rastafarian, he used to smoke weed. And they argue that because he smokes weed, he is not fit and proper. He took this matter to court.
I think I remember that case.
Yes, I remember. How can I forget it? It's such a famous case. Anyway, it'll come to me. So anyway, he took this matter to court, arguing that this is actually part of his religion. Got nothing to do with him being a fit and proper person. And he won the case, and he ended up practicing the law, right? He's an advocate now for marijuana rights, etc. and so on. But essentially, these are the things that they look at. Now, with that, it should follow that somebody who is fit and proper would never accept a bribe, right? They are held to the highest standard of morality. Whether you are a lawyer, whether you are a judge, etc. and so on, these are people that we're supposed to look up to. And so it's very disappointing, albeit we know they're human, but it's disappointing to find that they too are just like anybody else and can be corrupted.